he popped my implant. So I told my sister, and I said, can I borrow some money? I can't wait. I'm going to go call Dr. Brown.
Dr. Butcher Brown. Dr. Brown was a general practitioner for over 20 years. Despite not having any surgical experience nor operating room privileges, he found his niche amongst trans women looking for SRS but maybe couldn't afford proper surgeons such as Dr. Biber.
I called him up and I told him, he goes, okay, meet me down over there at the Marriott Hotel near the border. So I met him and he took me over the border in his old beat up station wagon. He got too aggressive taking the silicone out. He scraped some muscles and this part of my face fell. He got a big long term.
Because it's essentially murder.
Yeah, it was. And then he died in jail.
Hello? Monique? You want me to come in? Okay. Oh my god, look at you! So glamorous.
I'm not used to dressing like this anymore.
I love it. I think you look great. You did your hair in outfit?
Mm-hmm.
Looks so gorgeous. Oh my god.
That one.
First take with Glamorous Monique. Thank you for inviting me back.
You're welcome.
I was so excited to be invited back and also to hear the audience reaction to the last episode.
I was kind of surprised. You know, I just thought people had forgotten about me.
No one could ever forget about you. You're an icon in our community. I'm just so excited to get a little bit deeper.
Well, thank you. I'd like to go deeper.
Because I know generally, like, you have certain talking points that you talk about on interviews.
Yeah, you know, in the past, it's always been about the surgery. What did you have done? You know, there's more to me than just surgeries.
I completely agree. I'm really excited that we're at a place now where you trust me a bit more, that we can really get in there.
Okay, well, let's get into it. I had a perfect childhood.
When did you know?
Oh, I knew when I was 3 years old.
You knew I was going to ask you.
Of course. I knew when I was 3 years old, I used to wish, oh, look, if I only a genie would give me $100 and for me to be a girl. There used to be a magazine called Look Magazine. They did a spread on transsexuals. And, you know, I was a latchkey kid, you know, coming home. And, you know, and I just get the mail and look at and I looked and I said, oh, my God. My heart started pounding so fast and I got so scared. I don't know why. I guess because I thought maybe it's going to be exposed, you know. So I took that magazine, I ran down the alley, and I stuffed it in somebody's trash can way down below.
Because you didn't even want to admit to yourself that this could be a chapter that is going to be open.
I just thought, well, you know, I wanted it open, but I didn't want anybody to know it, my family, you know.
What was the first step into your trans journey?
I would dress up, stuff a bra. I can't believe I'm saying this. And wear my mother's green velour top and her necklace. Yeah, well, I went to high school. I tried to hide everything. So I became a nerd. I studied really good. I got scholarships to go to Cal State Fullerton. I got 3 scholarships. I did really good. And I buried myself in my education. But when I graduated, my dad died on my 18th birthday.
How did he die again?
Cancer of the esophagus. He didn't smoke or drink. Well, go figure.
Do you remember that time of your life when you found out he had cancer, and what was that like?
He had been sick for like 6 months before, you know, and then I remember Thanksgiving dinner that one year, he couldn't even eat. He's that type that don't want to go to the doctors. He finally went, and they took him to the hospital that day. They opened him up the next day, and they took out like half of his esophagus and some of his stomach, and then they opened him up again. They closed him up. They said there's nothing they can do, and he basically just died in the hospital. You know, just it was sad.
In a difficult time at your life too, in high school, to have that happen.
Oh, I know. I have a lot of guilt.
Why do you have guilt?
Because I was kind of mean to him. You know, teenagers. You know, he was there in a chair. And, oh, you dropped that food. Oh, my God. I can't believe that I would say that. But, you know, teenagers. About a year later, I couldn't take anymore. I just started.
You started transitioning?
Mm-hmm.
A year after your dad's death?
Yeah.
Do you think that his death had something to do with propelling you into transitioning?
No, I was going to do it anyways. I was prepared if anything was going to happen. I was going to prepare to move out, whatever. because nothing was going to stop me.
So before transitioning, you had a thought like, if something goes wrong, if my mom kicks me out, I'm still going to go for it and do this.
I was going to do it regardless. I remember one night, my mother was going out. My mother loved to go out. And I said, Mom, and I told her. And she looked at me and she said, oh.
How did you tell her?
Mom, I think I'm a transsexual.
Did she know what that was at that point?
She knew what it was, but she didn't know much about it. She goes, okay, we'll talk about it later. I got to go out. So she went, and I told her, and I called the Orange County Mental Health Clinic. I didn't know where to call, what to do. I told them, where I was and what I think I am. They got me in touch with this guy named Jude. He was a F to M, and he knew of this counseling group down in Laguna, and I signed up. And I went every Monday. And once a month they had family nights. My mom would go.
Were you the only one that had a mom there with you, or was other family supporting them too?
No other family came for family.
Were you realizing how rare the family support is for trans people?
Yeah, I did, because this is the first time I saw people have their struggles. And this is Laguna Beach, so lots of money, but still no support in the families. They had good jobs, lost their jobs, lost their families. Then I knew that I had it made.
I do think a lot of what people resonated with in the last episode was the love that your mom had for you and how beautiful that is.
Oh yeah, I always felt loved. Like I said, I think I was given the right family. The universe passed out the families. I got the right family that should have my mom, my dad, my sister.
And wait, are you close with your sister?
She was just down the street. She's beautiful. She was absolutely stunning.
Do you still see her a lot?
Yeah, I saw her Thanksgiving.
Just you two, or?
Her family.
And you?
Daughters. Her husband.
Are you close with them as well?
Yeah, the whole family. That's all I have now. My mom told me when I die, it's fate, but it hasn't.
The love, you mean the family aspect of you and your sister together?
The family probably will just kind of drift apart. Because me and my sister are different. She loves me and I love her.
In the last episode with Monique, we talked about Dr. Stanley Biber, the legendary doctor who turned Trinidad, the mining town of Colorado, into the sex change capital of the world. How much did the surgery cost back then?
Back then it was like $3,800.
It was a lot of money back then.
It was a lot of money back then, and it was, my mother got it for me.
But who we didn't discuss? John Ronald Brown, also known as Dr. Butcher Brown. Dr. Brown was a general practitioner for over 20 years. Despite not having any surgical experience nor operating room privileges, Dr. Brown decided to open up shop as a surgeon in the early 70s in San Francisco. He found his niche amongst trans women looking for SRS but maybe couldn't afford proper surgeons such as Dr. Biber. He was famous for doing these surgeries in motel rooms, leaving his victims to wake up in the back seat of their car or on a couch in an abandoned house. By 1977, his license was revoked for gross negligence, incompetence, and practicing unprofessional medicine in a manner which involved moral turpitude.
I don't know if he was just downright crazy or he wanted to help or what his deal was, but he was dedicated, crazy as could be.
License or not, he continued to operate, finally getting caught and sent to prison for a few years. But once released, he immediately began to operate again, only this time in Tijuana, Mexico. What'd you go there to see him for?
I went to Palm Springs with a girlfriend of mine, and we went to some gay bar, and they had mud wrestling. We were watching, and one of these beautiful guys mud wrestling, he saw me. He took me home with him. He popped my implant. He was a muscle, a big old muscle. And I guess, not on purpose, but, he just popped it. I didn't know, it's slowly. So, like, within a month, I started noticing that it started getting, smaller. So I told my sister, and I said, can I borrow some money? I'm going to go to doctor. I can't wait. I'm going to go call Dr. Brown, because I knew about him.
How'd you know about him?
My girlfriend, everybody knew about him. So I called him up, and you called the house. He didn't have an office because he already had his license revoked for doing something illegal, something wrong. And I called him up, and I told him, he goes, okay, meet me down over there at the Marriott Hotel near the border. So I met him, and he took me over the border in his old beat-up station wagon. And so he was going to fix my silicone, take some silicone out, because I had that look like a chipmunk.
I thought you were going for your breasts.
I was going to do both, two things. Mm-hmm. Might as well do two. Mm-hmm. So he's going to fix my breast, which he fixed the breast perfectly. But when he got too aggressive taking the silicone out, he scraped some muscles, and this part of my face fell, like for a year. It was all crooked. some trans girl was suing him. He fucked up her hairline. She had a forehead reduction, and I went to testify on his behalf. Even though he had fucked up my thing, because I could, deep down, he was a caring doctor. He was just off.
But you can be caring, but if you're not qualified to be a doctor, you should not be a doctor. If he was messing up on you, if he's messing up on her.
I don't know. I just felt the need to protect him. And I went on the stand, and they asked me all these questions, and it didn't help. I said, I work for the Department of Corrections, and it didn't help. He got convicted. I think he got like a 2-year term. You only serve like half of it or whatever. He finished that term. He came back, and then he got in trouble again.
In 1998, Brown was paid $10,000 by Philip Bondi to get his healthy leg amputated to satisfy a sexual fetish that he had. I've never heard of that kind of thing in my life.
Well, wake up.
Since it was illegal to amputate a healthy leg in Mexico, Brown threw the leg out the window 15 miles into the desert and then drove Bondi to his motel room in San Diego. On May 11th, 1998, San Diego police discovered Philip Bondi in that same motel room, dead from gangrene from a recently amputated leg.
He got a big long term.
Because it's essentially murder.
Yeah, it was. And then he died in jail.
Were you shocked to hear that news?
Saddened. I don't know if he was crazy or what.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your love life.
I have been married twice. The first time it was just for, I don't know, just lust. It just wasn't even real. And then the second one, I met him at the Limelight. When I was working for Michael Alec, I would go there on my vacation, and this German came up to me and go, "Where can I buy some cigarettes?" I said, "What's your name, sweetheart?" And he said, "Thomas." I grabbed him, and we spent the night together. I went home like 2 days later, and I kind of forgot about him. And then he wrote me. He was living at the YMCA. He was working for some Russian jewelers, because he was a jeweler. He sent me flowers, and he called me, and we started corresponding. And then he came to see me on New Year's Eve. And on the 18th, we flew to Vegas and got married. And he went back the next day to Germany to tie up everything. He was going to come out here to live. And then I flew on Valentine's over to Germany.
Did you meet his family?
Meet his family, yeah. They were very nice. Very nice.
Did they know that you were trans?
I don't know if they knew at the time, but I'd run around in G-strings and hip belts and dusters, like I was still running around at the Limelight. And she goes, "Shun, shun, shun." And it was a very loving family. When we separated, I missed her more, Muti, than him.
Why did you guys separate?
I wasn't in love with him. He was in love with me a lot. I don't know what it is about me, but I always tend to like the ones that don't like me that much. That there's something fucked up in your mind doing that thing, but we're having sex, and never mind. I just, it's, "Are you done yet? Hurry up." Mm-hmm. And I think after that, no wonder I have such bad luck. Because, karma.
Since then, has it been hard to find somebody?
Yeah, I've had bad relationships since. He found somebody else. I'm such a stalker. I drove down over to where we were living, and I saw him with some blonde girl. I didn't want him, but I didn't want anybody else to have him. Isn't that terrible? I know how OJ did it now. I saw red. I was in my car. I just came back from Paris, and I got a little Sacré-Cœur, little coin. And I took that coin, and I ran to his new Mercedes, and I scratched the gas tank. He would have never known, except for the old neighbors saw me. The old neighbors who knew me, because I used to live right next. I was living with him, and then I moved out.
Was he confused because you were the one who chose a divorce?
Yeah, he was. But at that point, he was just mad. So I was living with my aunt, and he came flying over to the house, and I was on the phone with somebody gossiping about what happened. And he goes, "You fucking, 'cause I'm mad. I'm gonna throw your ass in jail." And I said, "You can't." I said, "That car's in my name too." When I found out he wanted somebody else, things changed. I wanted him. That's sick.
Do you still speak to the German?
No, I can't find him. He just disappeared. And I have a girlfriend who moved to Germany and looked him up. I had the address, I had the mother's name, can't find him.
If he was still alive and he reached out to you after maybe watching something like this, would you want to open that up again?
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
I would. He really loved me. But I'm sure he's married to somebody else now. I was his second wife and he was only 25.
You never know though. Maybe they divorced. Maybe he's thinking about you just like you're thinking about him.
He's got money now. Sure.
And we love that. You said since him you've had bad relationships. Do you think that he was kind of the one that got away?
I could trust him. It took having a lot of bad relationships after him to find out how good he was.
That is good for me to hear because sometimes I get scared about letting somebody go that's good in my life and then looking back and regretting that.
I kind of regret it. I would like to be friends with him again and see where it would go, but I did him wrong. I'd go to work in the morning and I'd say, "Get out of bed, help me do my back of my hair." So he was and I'd be in front of the mirror and he'd be telling, "I know, here, more there, put that up and tease it up." Aww. And then he finally said, "F you," and he threw the brush down. He goes, "You do that on your own." So I thought, "Oh, good, you're stepping up for yourself," Sometimes I think that if someone weakness, it's like a turn off.
But that's scary because you can find yourself involved in men that are not good to you.
Yeah, I know. I've had lots of that. Lots of that.
Do you want a partner now?
No. I mean, doesn't everybody, want to have somebody there? But it's not like burning like it was when I'm in my 20s and 30s. No, I'm very comfortable being by myself.
You're not lonely?
No, not really.
Are you still sexually active?
I haven't been in a while.
Do you want to be? Is this too much? I'm being so nosy. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm just feeling so comfortable with you, and I just feel.
Do I want to be? Yeah, of course. But I've gotten conservative and things with views about that. Isn't that funny? I used to just be more sexually open, just go to bed with someone from a bar. I wouldn't do that nowadays.
You want to be able to trust the person.
Yeah, I want to trust somebody, and I want to have some sort of relationship with them.
I'm the same way.
Well, good. I can find happiness on my own.
I love that.
There's something very sad, and if you need somebody to fulfill yourself. I've had all that. Of course, it'd be nice to have somebody with money.
I do feel the same way. I feel so content being single. Not to say that if someone came into my life, I wouldn't want that person, but I feel like society puts this idea that if you're alone, you're lonely and sad.
Oh, they do. They really do. And then, you think people are. Oh God, he has nobody. How sad. What a loser. But that's not the case.
Or how are you single? You're so attractive.
Why are you single?
Yeah.
Because I don't find anybody. I don't put it out there. I get a lot of attention. I don't need that.
You do get a lot of attention.
Lots of freaky men write me, on the internet, but I don't really need that.
Is that something that you encounter? Is the men that are wanting to be with you, they're looking at you as like a fish?
Sometimes. That's why I married Thomas, because it didn't matter to him. Mm-hmm. It didn't.
He loved you for who you are.
Yeah, he did.
As you get older and you look at, especially the past couple of years, and you see how much has changed within the trans community or evolved and grown, what are your thoughts?
I think it's positive. I do. I think it's positive. It's not such a taboo anymore. It still is. Come on.
I think especially the past 3 years or so, it's been the main topic of conversation is trans rights and the trans community. And
there are certain segments of who I really don't even consider trans. Mm-hmm. The ones that are men that look like men, they're saying, "You're going to keep me out of a woman's restroom, you're going to have a fight in your hands." I said, "Excuse me, but you don't really even..." But they want to be under the inclusion of the trans umbrella. Mm. And that's what is really shocking mid-America. Mm-hmm. It's almost as if the rights that we've made on our own are being jeopardized by these silly things that these people are doing. And I don't know why they're doing them. And I find them more than anything.
It's hard because those kind of stories are the ones that bring clicks onto TikTok and YouTube, and those are the kind of stories those are the kind of stories that are getting perpetrated by.
I know it is, and it's unfortunate.
When in fact most trans women that I know just want to be women and just treated like normal. They don't want to cause an uproar on social media.
I know. I don't know why they do this. It's what propel. Why do they do that? I don't understand.
And that's why I feel so passionately about my series and putting trans people, and this show so often, is because I think that a lot of the general public, probably especially in the Midwest and stuff, are seeing these kind of TikToks of the people that saying they're trans that are causing this uproar, and it's leaving a negative stigma on the trans community.
Yeah, it does, and it really does, and it could put you at risk, for violence. I just find it very unfortunate.
Let's get into the government work, because you are the longest serving trans government official worker, right?
I would say so.
It's very impressive.
Anybody else out there, come forward. I'd like to meet you. Well, some people have started with the state one sex and changed.
But you entered as a trans woman.
Yeah, I entered as female.
Did they know that you're trans?
You're always going to get... Someone's going to out you.
How do you change your legal name by then?
Oh, yeah, that was all changed.
What was the process back then for that?
To have a legal name change, you had to go to court and, stand in front of the judge, and it's so embarrassing. I remember they went with me, poor mother. And they say, what's the reason for it? I had a sex change. And then there's a process, you come back in 8 weeks or something like that. You have to publish it in a publication for 8 weeks, each week.
What publication?
Just some things I never heard of. They didn't even know that, like ranchers, just anything, just legal magazines. And your name showed up, and then you showed up, and they granted you your name change.
How did you pick Monique?
I don't know. I think from Dark Shadows. There was an Angelique. And I said, Monique sounds nice.
It's perfect for you.
So I got Monique.
Are you working on new music, or what are you really looking forward to?
The last time I worked on my music was with Tyler Stone.
So are you looking to make new music?
Yes, and I started last October. We were going to do it, and he got a beat for me, and we were going to do it, and then I just got cold feet.
What makes you nervous?
I don't know, I just didn't feel right.
Does it make you nervous to step out into the public again?
A little bit. And, I just wasn't feeling that great. I had something maybe going on with my ex or something. So I just kind of, and I didn't follow through with it. And he got me a beat, and I've got the words to, one is called Party Panties.
Love it.
And the other one is Wigs and Lashes.
Wigs and Lashes. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
You listen to Tyler, hi, I'm ready to do it again. And you record those two.
I think we're all ready for you to come back out there and... get back in the scene.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
We had mentioned that a lot of what you talk about now in interviews is the surgeries, and, you're unbotched, and a lot of what the conversation center around with you now is the surgeries and all of that. How do you feel about that?
I took advantage of it only because I got free surgery from Botch. But, there's so much more to me than just surgeries.
I think so, too. And that's why I'm so excited about this interview in particular, because I think we're getting to know who you truly are. You are a lesson for everyone in the modern age to learn from, and it's so amazing to be able to have you here, and we can learn as a queer community so much from the people that have lived before us, and I really thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I could spend hours talking with you.
Oh, well, thank you. I could too. Thank you very much.
I feel so close to you now. I feel like you're family. Like I feel so lucky.
I'm your grandma.
No, we're siblings.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You'll take it?
I'll take it.
Okay, you're my sister.
Okay, your baby sister.
Yes. Perfect. Okay, I'm out of here.
Oh,
thank you so much.
thank you.
Do you want me to take your trash out or anything? Anything I can help you with?
Oh, you have to do that.
No, I want to.
I'm going to go out there.
No. Is it just right here?
At the pumpkin.
That's a pumpkin. Oh, perfect. Did you carve it or not?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Not that festive.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I'll see you soon, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you ever go out?
Very rarely, but we should go sometime together.
We should. That'd be fun.
A dream. Oh my gosh.
That'd be fun.
Oh my gosh. Okay, perfect.